Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Empire Let's Play series. Between episodes, I've just been doing a lot of trading with these folks and a little bit of work on the road that we built last episode. I can't believe it's 20 episodes already. That just seems wild to me. Time flies, I suppose. Some of these villagers are starting to get up to the master level. So this guy, the Bane of Arthropods, this guy does an Unbreaking 1 sword. This guy will give me Netherwart, which is sort of interesting that you can get Netherwart without going to the Nether. Bottles of Enchanting. I did get some glowstone from this guy, and I put it up in the lighthouse, just so we have some light up there. The librarian, I did a little bit of work on their space and then got them up to master. And so now we're getting knockback 2, sweeping edge 1, and sharpness 3. So got some mediocre trades there. One trade I am interested in is the cartographer. So the cartographer with the Villager Trade Rebalance will trade village maps. So I can get a Taiga village map and a Savannah village map. So I got some compasses. Let's go ahead and get one of those. And get one of those. Okay. So this map shows if we go kind of northeast, we will eventually find a village that is in the Taiga. This other map is a Savannah village map, and you can see down in the right hand corner we are really tiny, so that one is much further away. And you might remember back when I started this whole series, I knew that there wasn't a Savannah anywhere near us, and that's why we built this village here. Well, that is very cool. We'll have to investigate those, and you know, it'd be nice to have somewhere to kind of keep all the maps. Maybe we will build something eventually. Speaking of maps, I'm going to grab this one and take that with us. Last episode, we completed the road from the Southlands up to Mingus. And between episodes, I sort of cleaned up this bridge. So you can see as we ride across here, there's some lanterns and some walls and some supports, things like that, just to make it look a little more finished. Underneath, I put some legs. Real simple, just deep slate and then hung some lanterns, and it looks nice and supported. I did hang some lanterns here, and I'm not sure if I love that. Let me know if you have some feedback on those. Once we get up to the top here, we still need to figure out the lighting, but I planted a bunch of trees. And like I was talking about last episode, I built this up just a little bit so it looks like the road kind of cuts through, and I think it looks really cool. Right now the road comes down this way and connects up with our village here. And I didn't really think about it, but if I want to go to the next village, do I have to ride through the village? We might need to build another road if we want to bypass it. You know, like if we want to go to the next village up there, maybe another road will kind of come off of here and go up and over. I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually. We've still been getting lots of pumpkins, lots of melons. And one thing I'm excited about with the new Bundles of Bravery is you'll now be able to use an ender pearl as a really simple chunk loader. So potentially we could just throw an ender pearl into a water bubble column and it'll just kind of float there, and it'll keep this area loaded so we can just get more and more pumpkins. I haven't updated yet just because I want my data packs and everything to work. So we'll get there eventually. Let's see, Windburst, Density. We were talking about these enchantments for the mace last week. I did a little bit of research and I confirmed that Breach is usually just for PvP. It reduces the effectiveness of armor. And while there are some mobs that do wear armor, there's not very many. And mobs like skeletons or zombies, the smite enchantment is way more useful if you're concerned about that, so we probably will not put breach on our mace. Breach and density are incompatible, and I think density goes up to level 5. Density means the higher you fall, the harder it's going to hit, and it multiplies it quite a lot. Windburst, I think, goes up to level 3, and when you hit a mob, it will create a windburst to blow back some of the mobs. In addition to density and windburst, we could also put unbreaking, we could put mending, and I think we could also put fire aspect on the mace. But we'll deal with that a little bit later. Today, the first thing I want to do is pumpkin farm. We had talked about making the pumpkin farm and the melon farm look more like the other builds. And I still do have some stone left over from our road build, so the first thing we're going to do is encase our farm in stone. And once we get that done, I think the next thing we're going to do is begin work on our next village. The next village is going to be out in this direction, and eventually we will have a road that kind of goes up the hill, and right over there next to the mountain is the next village. But first things first, let's finish this pumpkin and melon farm situation. That looks much better from the top there, and as we head out here in the streets and peek over the roofs, it matches up much nicer with the rest of our build. There is a door that I put on this side, so we have access to the inside of the pumpkin and melon farm. And right now it's just an empty box. But eventually what I would like to do is put some contraption in here that will bundle up the melon slices and then send them on over as complete melons. But in order to do that, we have to go to the Nether first. And I've been thinking about where I want to build a portal. I don't want to approach the Nether in the same way that I did the last time I did a Let's Play series. I think I want to use the Nether for resources, and that's about it. As far as fast travel, that kind of thing, I don't think we're going to rely on the Nether for that. Otherwise, why would we be building all these roads? I think what I'm going to do is, when we look at the map, build a portal on the far east side of the map, and then build a portal on the far west side of the map. And that way we'll have a way through the Nether if we want to go all the way across the map. But otherwise, I don't think we're going to do a lot of portals into the Nether. But we'll get to that. First thing I want to do is get to work on our next village. Up here on the north side, we have another gateway out. And we're going to eventually build a road that climbs up this hill a little bit towards this pillar. There's a little bit of a natural feature here that I think we're going to follow. You can kind of see how this scoops around to there. And then we're going to keep going up in that direction. Once we get to this pillar, the next pillar that we're going to shoot for. So the road will go across here. There are some precarious little caves and chasms and things that we'll have to be mindful of. The road will come up through here. Again, some sketchy little caves and things that we'll need to watch out for. And we'll make our way over toward this pillar. Again, a lot of terraforming and things we'll need to be mindful of. And then what's going to happen is we'll go through the woods a little bit here. And then kind of turn up the hillside. Right now it's really steep, so we'll have to level that out. Right here is where we're going to intersect. This will be the road into the village. And right now, this is a fairly large village. It is quite a number of buildings, and it's kind of on a couple of different levels. I think I want to smooth some of this out. I don't think it'll be perfectly flat, but I just don't want it to be quite that extreme. Way over there, you can see the bridge we built. It leads off to the next village. Way off over there. I've got a couple of villagers sealed away in their houses here, but I think I might protect a couple more, and then we're going to start doing some terraforming and tearing down some of these buildings. So when we come up this road here, it feels like this is the bulk of the village. But if we run up this little hill, actually, I think more village up here than there is down there. It's really spread out, really large. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's also this little central area here that has like a beehive, lots of flowers. Over here, got some wolves, got some bees, more flowers. So yeah, need to maybe grab a map and kind of figure out how I want to lay this thing out. That's a big village. Didn't even get it all on one map. Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is just start tearing down some structures, some of the ones furthest from the center, and then we're going to go through and start to terraform so we don't get iron golems walking on the roof and all of that. Like I said, I don't mind an elevation change, and we'll probably preserve that, but I don't want it to be quite this extreme. And then I will probably do some sketches and that sort of thing to figure out how this place is going to be laid out. I think I'd mentioned in the last episode, I want there to be like 20 villagers, so it's a lot of buildings. Well, there's a couple things I'm thinking about. One is I kind of imagined I might be able to salvage some of this or repurpose some of this, but it's just so ugly and wonky that I think I'm going to tear most of this down and rebuild it. Like you can see, we've got a bunch of buildings and things on this level here, but then there's like a really steep elevation climb. I already started tearing this down a little bit. And then there's these other buildings way down here. We've got this cave system kind of poking through right over here. I'm going to need to deal with as well. And then I'm trying to figure out, where's the road going to go? Because the road needs to connect up here, but then it needs to also make its way over to that bridge over there. So yeah, I think that's going to be the first thing is imagine what the road looks like. And then from there, I'll figure out the layout of the village around that. And like I was saying, I think most of this is going to get torn down and then built back up. It definitely will not be flat. There's going to be a little bit of a rise to it, so it'll have a little bit of an interesting character. And I think I want to butt it up against this little crater or ravine here, because I think that's just really cool looking. Slowly making some progress. So I think what's going to happen here is the road is going to come up the hill here and just kind of move straight across. This hill will get smoothed out a little bit, so the road will climb up and then meet up with that bridge over there. And so the village is going to be all on the north side of this road. So I'm going to tear all of these buildings out over here. A couple of these buildings might remain. And then this hill will kind of step up a little bit. So I think the city will kind of be on like 3 layers. And you can also kind of see that it's a curve. It's kind of a C shape. Still a lot of terraforming and work to do here, but that's kind of the plan. So we'll have a few buildings here maybe. We'll step up a little bit, a couple more, and then a few more. And then we'll have a road that just sort of goes along the south side of this village. And that bridge, man, that is going to be a big project when we get to that. And speaking of that bridge, let's go ahead and run over there, because the last thing I want to do today is going to be right over there. So you can imagine one day the road coming along like this, and then ever so slightly turning and going across this massive bridge that goes over this very large valley. Over here on the hilltop, the road will turn in this direction, continue along the ridge here. We'll definitely have to do more terraforming and all of that. Look at all those horses over there. The road will come along this way over towards this village. And I think right here, in this space, this is where we're going to build our portal. Seem to recall there was some lava over here that we could turn into obsidian. We're going to trade with this dude and just get us a pick. So I'm just going to dump some water on it and mine out a bunch of blocks. All right, that should be plenty of obsidian for a portal. I'm also going to grab the taiga map that we got because I have a sneaking suspicion that taiga might be real close to where we are working. All right, back across the world here. Okay, tied up our horse. Let's talk about this spot. It's real weird. It's kind of this big thing popping out of the earth here. Some weirdness that we'll probably clean up a little bit. And then there's a little bit of a dip here. Doesn't seem to go anywhere, but there it is. And so what I want to do is build a portal and then maybe like a temple, like there's something that the portal is housed in. And then we'll do a bit of terraforming to make it feel more intentional. I just think it's a weird spot, and I like the proximity to this village. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, hello. Are there things down here that I should worry about? Probably. I think today the only thing I'm going to worry about is building the portal. And then in a future episode, we'll work on the terraforming and building up the temple and all of that. See, this feels pretty centered. I'm just going to come out a little bit like this. Okay, we'll grab a little bit of obsidian. Our portal is going to be 2 blocks wide. Like so. Be 3 tall. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Couple of them there. There we go. I'm going to put just a couple blocks back here so I don't accidentally walk out of the portal and off a cliff. And that's going to be it. Portal number 1. I'm going to put a bed down here just so we have somewhere to sleep, reset spawn, things like that. Also want to take a look at this taiga map. Definitely need to go more north. But the white indicator down there is really large, so I think it's probably going to be somewhere over here in this spruce forest off in the distance here. We will investigate that in the future. One more thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to plant a big spruce tree. Because once we get over here, I think we're going to want to use some spruce. Okay, moment of truth. There we have a portal. Let's take a peek and see how bad things are. Well, I mean, it could be worse. We could be over lava. We could be in a crimson forest. So this is not terrible. I see soul sand, so I'm thinking we might be in a soul sand valley. Yeah, definitely looks that way. Here are the ghasts. Well, we'll have easy access to soul sand if we need it. Don't see anything else real distinct. Let's see, what level are we at? We are way up at 116, so we might end up moving this portal further down in the world eventually. But there we have it. That is our nether portal. No quartz, that's a little bit of a bummer. If we go in this direction, if we find any. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Go ahead and head back to the overworld. Nice. Well, we've kind of got our work cut out for us. We got a new village to work on, we've got a road to build, we've got a new temple for our portal, lots and lots of stuff to work on. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to be like these folks and help support the channel, click join down below. Starts at 99 cents and it really helps me out. And thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.